Alright, hello guys and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about my spray setup I use for my food plots. Then we're going to go back, do a little bit of fertilizing, kind of show you guys how the soybeans are doing, and then maybe go check some SD cards, see if we got any of those big bucks on camera. So stick with me and we'll get to it. Alright, so real quick before I start to fertilize here, I'm not going to do the full food plot update. We're just going to do, like I said, spread some fertilizer, do some spraying, and then kind of show you guys, you know, how I spray, the amounts I mix and all that good stuff. But I'm going to kind of eat crow here. On my last update I told you like the soybeans weren't going to do anything, like they looked horrible. And I tell you what, these things are resilient. I mean, I think I'm going to have some soybeans here. And it's looking a lot better. I mean, obviously all the other fields around are like knee high or taller, but I mean, they might do okay, we'll see. But I have some 624-24. We're gonna put a couple bags of that on here. We're supposed to get like an inch of rain tomorrow, so we'll do that, and then we'll get back to the sprayer and I'll kind of give you guys a rundown on that. So here's a sprayer that I use. It's a Fimco sprayer. You can find it any TSC, probably Family Farm and Home, anything like that. And it's 25-gallon sprayer, and this is called a boomless sprayer, which means you have, you know, these three nozzles across all the way across here, and that's your width, and it sprays out to, I believe, about 30 feet. And it works really well. You can take these and you can turn them and adjust, you know, how far or how narrow that you want it on both sides. Then this one just kind of sprays down, covers your tire tracks. It does have a wand on it, which is super nice. And you know, this is ideal for guys, you know, I spray up to 2 acres and I can spray 2 acres in like 15 minutes. So this is for guys, you know, if you have secluded food plots in the woods, you want to spray trails, you know, even the bigger areas, you're covering 30 feet, so that's a big area. And I think you can pick this up for like 400 bucks. So super nice and lightweight. I can pick this up no problem, you know, as long as it's empty. And so all the nozzles that you see here, the pump on the back, which is right here, really easy to operate. I mean, everything's super simple. All that stuff can be found at TSC, so if you break down, you need a nozzle, or your pump goes bad, you know, all that stuff's at TSC, or, you know, Family Farm and Home, stuff like that. So real easy to work on, everything's accessible, and for 400 bucks, I mean, you can't really beat it. They do have different power outlets, like you can plug it into a cigarette lighter. I like to run a separate battery, and I'll put that like on the front of the four-wheeler here and just run cables to that. Yeah, super good sprayer. Like I said, if you're smaller food plotters, or I mean, even if you're bigger food plotters, the amount you can spray with this is just awesome. So you know, I take it on and off the four-wheeler. It's real simple, 5 minutes, a couple ratchet straps, and you're good to go. So I'm gonna go down, get this filled up with water, and then I'll kind of talk to you guys about the mix ratios and everything like that, and the sprays that I use. Alright, so I have everything hooked up, and what I do, there's a bunch of different types of cords you can get for this. Like I said, cigarette lighter cord, stuff that hooks up to a battery. Mine just so happens to hook up to a battery. So what I do is I just, you know, run this cord from the back here, run it up, here's the switch, and then I just ratchet strap a battery to the front. This is probably a little bit overkill, but it's a battery that I have laying around. So now with this sprayer, I have it, or I figured it out basically. I can get about 12.5 gallons per acre, and that's water, spraying just water per acre. So the spray that I like to use, the glyphosate that I use for my Roundup Ready soybeans and corn, and like I said, if you need to burn off a field, it's a great product to use. But it's Farm Works. It's 41% glyphosate, and then it also has a surfactant in it, which, you know, just kind of helps that glyphosate work and makes it more effective. So 12.5 gallons of water in this sprayer. I have it half full because I'm only going to be spraying an acre. And then usually I put about 1 quart per 12.5 gallons of the glyphosate. And that seems to be a really good combination, a really good kill off, and I'm not using, you know, an absolute ton of stuff. So I'm gonna get this measured out, we're gonna get it poured in, and then usually there's a cycle mode on this. You can shut the valves off and turn one on, and it kind of cycles that glyphosate through there, kind of gets it mixed in with the water real good. So we're gonna do that, get the nozzles adjusted so they're all set to go, and then we're gonna get spraying. Now I do like to wear gloves when I do this. Just I don't want this stuff on my hands. There's enough warning labels on there to, you know, keep you safe. So it's always good to wear gloves when you do this. So like I said, we have 12.5 gallons. I'm gonna fill this up to 1 quart, and then we're gonna get it dumped in. Yeah, just a touch over, that's okay. Dump in there. Usually I like to wash this out after I do this, just get the residual stuff out of there so I'm not touching it all the time. Alright, so here's your different shutoffs here. So the boom, we're going to completely shut that off, and then we're going to open up this intake, so it's going to take it out the bottom, throw it through the pump and put it through the top, and that'll kind of help mix everything together. So got that going, there's no pressure on the boom, and then as you can see, it's kind of taking it down the bottom, bringing it up through the top, and mixing it up. And I don't usually worry about too much doing this, because by the time I, you know, drive back to where I'm spraying, it's mixing it up pretty good. So I'm gonna shut that off. We'll check our nozzles out here real quick. That's kind of the angle I like to keep it at. It kind of, you know, spreads it out at the farthest point. The bottom's usually self-explanatory, don't need to do nothing there. That one's good. So I'll get back, start the sprayer up, we'll make sure everything's working, and we'll get it going. All right, we got our nozzles set up perfect. Now I want to turn this boom back on, and then you gotta really get the pressure just about right. I like to run it at about 30 psi. If you run it too fast, that pump's gonna keep turning on and off because there's too much pressure. So 30 psi seems to be about perfect. You get a good spray, and it's not pushing it out so much to where you know, it comes out of them nozzles and it just doesn't look right. The spray pattern's off, and it can, you know, not give you that nice even coverage that you want. So we'll give this a shot here real quick. I'm gonna turn it on. And as you can see, it's spraying out that side. We've got some air in there, but that's getting taken care of. So we should be pretty good. And you can run that real quick for 5 seconds in one spot. It's not gonna hurt anything, but it's a good idea to kind of get them nozzles just right, so when you start spraying, you know, the coverage is good. And real quick, I've had this for 8-9 years and neglected a lot of, you know, TLC on it. So the way this sprays right now is probably not optimal. When you first get this thing, it's amazing, but you know, over the years there's probably some buildup in them nozzles, some buildup in the lines. So not a very good model for how this probably you know, sprays. So just keep that in mind, you know, when you're watching me spray and stuff like that. So we're all set to go, so I'm gonna get spraying. So another thing I really like about this sprayer, so I have a narrow path right here. I have corn on the left and some clover on the right, and I don't need to spray that 30-foot path that this is capable of doing. So what you can do is you can take these nozzles and turn them up and down to get the correct spray path. So I'm not too worried about the corn. That's Roundup ready. I got this nozzle set, so it's just going to come short of the clover. And then what's really cool is you can actually shut these off as well. Shut them off and just let the center do the work, which basically covers your tire tracks. So I'm going to get this last section sprayed, where I'm going to be doing the fall food plots, and then I'll kind of take the drone up and show you guys why I think the deer hit my beans so hard and why I had so much pressure on this food plot early. All right, just finished up spraying. Wanted to share a little bit of information with you guys. So this soybean field here was intended to be corn. If you've seen any of my previous videos, this corn was planted too close. I accidentally used the soybean plates, so I ran out of corn seed, went to the mill real quick, bought the soybeans, put them in, didn't really give it much thought. But in my particular area, the crop rotation is always either corn or soybeans. A lot of the farmers are on the same page, so this year we have a ton of corn around our woods. So when I planted these, they were the first soybeans to go in the area. They received a ton of pressure, and that's why they got eaten down so bad. Now that there's a couple other fields up in the area, it's kind of relieved some of the pressure on these, and they're starting to come back a little bit. So I think I'll have something here. It might not be optimal, but I'll have something. So just a really good idea, see what's going to be put in around you, and sometimes you might want to adjust your planting date accordingly. If that farmer is going to be planting beans, wait till he gets his in, then maybe a week later, plan on putting your stuff in, because his will come up first. It'll take a lot of the pressure off of these smaller plots, and and put them out into them bigger fields and give you a better chance for success. So yeah, that's going to wrap it up for today. I really appreciate all the support, guys. We're going to be doing a couple more updates on the corn once it starts to tassel, which should be maybe 2-3 weeks, so pretty exciting there. So yeah, please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys on the next video.